Hello everyone. So, I know the camera, you're over here, but my screen's in front of me. So work with me as I go back and forth. It's my first time doing this, but I was trying to get a different angle. So here's what we got, okay? Anyways, so I'm going to do a reading because today we've got, or it might have been last night, but either way, we've had a full moon. Full moon in Aquarius. Keep in mind you might hear my chickens because I just heard them. So, I'm going to do a Celtic cross spread using this deck. Now, with that being said, clarifying, I'm going to clarify a few with my Morgan Greer Tarot, and also the ones that I clarify with the Morgan Greer Tarot, I'm also going to use the Kipper deck, okay? I'm not going to clarify like every card, but I am going to clarify a few using those. Now, I do the Celtic cross spread, so I think that, you know, each reading that I do, that you watch, that you come across, from the moment that you watch it, and whenever that is, okay? From the moment you watch it, it starts then, and it's for a 30-day or 28-day cycle, basically. Okay, so when you do your Celtic cross spread, you have a little circle, which is like your current stuff, and then you got outside forces. So the top part is the timing, past, present, future, and then you got your outcome. So what I'm gonna do on the past, present, future, so I'm going to do the future and the outcome. I'm going to pull a clarifying card using the Sign of the Times Oracle deck. Okay, so I will show you some of the cards. Some of the cards may not get shown, so just be, you know, aware of that. If you like this video, then please subscribe, give the video a like, and you know, stick around for more, because I have been extremely busy for the past 2 or 3 weeks. That's why I haven't posted anything. I had to get my son off to college, and I have been working, you know, my soap business plus my regular job. So I'm finally getting a little bit of a break so I can get caught up and get back on the roll of things. I'm soon going to try to come out with a schedule of when I'm going to make videos and post them. So if you are interested in becoming, I'm not going to do a daily reading, but I'm definitely going to come out. I did try to do a daily reading, but I couldn't keep up with it. So I would definitely suggest, because a lot of the material and things that I talk about, I post material about it, regarding it, onto my Facebook page, which is the Urban Woman 222. So I would definitely highly recommend, if you know, like the readings and you like me and you like learning about spirituality and things like that, to go over to my Facebook page and follow. I have a lot of followers over there, but I've had that page for about probably 10 years. So I have a little over, like, right at, I think a little over 1,500 followers. But, you know, I feel like, you know, I also walked away from that page and kind of didn't use it for a few years. And I think during that time period when I took a break, that maybe the algorithms and things changed. I've noticed that, like, because there used to be a lot of spiritual and then tarot Facebook groups on Facebook that I used to post to, and a lot of them are inactive now. So I feel like a lot of the people that I have as followers on there, you know, they don't have that follow part. So I don't feel like they any longer see my post. But anyways, so, you know, completely up to you. If that's what you're interested in, that's your vibe, then, you know, go over there. I have started a TikTok channel, the Urban Woman NC, I believe. Now, on that channel right there, I get deep because I don't use cards or anything like that. So I talk specifically about the chosen ones, other planets, star systems, shadow work, like the purpose and reason of why we're here. I talk about Jesus a lot. So feel free to, find me on TikTok and, follow over there, watch some of those videos if you're interested in that sort of thing. So as far as this reading, we're going to see what is coming up for the next 30 days from when you watch this. Now, for me, I'm doing this on, August the 18th. So the outcome and the future position in this deck will end around the 19th of, September. So about 28 to 30 days from now. So I do know that we have this full moon that's happening tonight, which is in Aquarius, or last night, which is one of them. It's a blue moon. So, when they say, once in a blue moon, well, this is it. It's supposed to be super powerful. Keep in mind that we do have 5 planets in retrograde. All right, blessed be. I'm going to shuffle the cards and talk at the same time. Looking for 10 cards for a Celtic crossbred reading. What messages do you have for the collective and all viewers at this time? What messages and or guidance do you have for all viewers and the collective at this time? So we do have 5 planets in retrograde. Some of you, I read that a blessing on your vision, a blessing on your intuition. So things are going to start to come clear for you here soon if you're not already experiencing that. A blessing for solace and hope, and a blessing on your intuition. So solace and hope are on their way, especially if you've been experiencing rough times. A blessing on your health, a blessing on solace and hope. So if you've had a sickness or an ailment or something, there's, improvement coming through on that, okay? Let me go ahead and continue to get these ready real quick. All right, Morgan Greer, prepare yourself to clarify the Blessed Be Oracle. What messages do you have for all viewers at this time? What clarification do you have? Lovers and Temperance. So this is a choice you made about, relationship, friendship, partnership, job, but there's healing needed. Yep. So whatever that was, it could have left you out in the cold or beat you up a little bit. But now there's a new start or something coming in regarding that. So if you hear the background music, I've started listening to, it's like an Alaskan Native American tribe who has their own music. They make their own instruments and they sing. What are they called? The Who. The THE and then HU. And I have loved their music. So, alright, Kipper Deck, prepare yourself to clarify. What messages do you have for the collective at this time? What messages do you have for the collective at this time? So anyways, so we've got main, female, and judication. So if you're a female watching this, then judication is coming. Okay, you might have to, so this judication card, that means you're going to have to sit down with someone, a mediator, you and whoever you've had a spout with, maybe even in a courthouse, or like if you work for a corporation and you're having to sit down with HR at a job and talk about something that's happened at work. That's what that could signify. Yeah, because someone that's in that department has concerns for either you, the position, what you're doing, whatever. Alright, one more sign of the times. I'm looking for, prepare yourself to clarify the future and the outcome card. So what messages do you have for all viewers on the future and the outcome? Distractions with clouds, succulents with blessings. So be cautious not to let, things distract you. There's a chance, big chance, roll the dice, take a chance. There are things that are trying to distract you, so be aware of that. You've got coins with good luck and clouds again with distractions. So there are things coming in trying to distract you from your goal, your mission, whatever you're trying to accomplish here. Okay? So 5 planets in retrograde. I don't know all 5, but I know that the rose-colored glasses have come off. Neptune is 1. So if you have not already, you're about to receive clarity and start seeing things in a different light. Okay, like the truth is about to be revealed, or you're about to have light bulb moments where things are going to start to become clear, or you're about to have a new perspective on things. You're about to see things for exactly what they are. And then also too, Saturn's in retrograde, so karma is being served. I tell people all the time, karma is by far the biggest bitch ever. You know, I used to think I was a bad bitch. I quit fighting and I quit, trying to battle things out because karma does a way much better job than I do. And then I don't have to be exhausted or deal with the repercussions of fighting and all that. So I kind of just go with the flow and allow, karma to do her thing. So right now, you could be seeing a lot of people going through it. You could be going through it yourself. And it's because of karma. With every choice you make, with every action, with every reaction, there's a consequence. There's a price to pay. That's karma. That's how she works. So that's why I always say you want to make sure that you are sowing and reaping and reacting with, and that's why I talk about Jesus, because Jesus is the greatest teacher to ever step upon this earth. People have a huge misconception about Jesus and why he was here. He didn't want to be worshipped. He wanted he came here to be an example for you to live by and to act like and to become like. It's our mission on this earth to become like Jesus. That's why they call it Christ consciousness. Find Christ or Jesus within yourself and become and be him, act like him. He was the best living example, and you lead by example. So how can you better yourself and your life by being more like him and practicing, being like him? And I tell people all the time, it's so fucking easy. Okay, it's so simple. It is so simple. All you have to do is follow his 7 heavenly virtues. Kindness, patience, compassion, pestilence, humility. There's 2 more. But Google them. What are the 7? I have them written down. What are the 7 heavenly virtues? That's how you combat sin. So you need to do that within your thoughts, within your deeds, within your reactions. And, if you can start doing that and try to maneuver, you'll notice your life changes big time. Alright, let's get started because I've talked enough. Okay, so right smack in the center, we have healing. A blessing for healing of injury or illness. So if you've had a setback or you've been sick, something's happened to you, and the challenge is blessing on the air. So I would say that it's Mercury retrograde, which I tell people all the time, don't do nothing during the Mercury retrograde, because it's like either I use the narrative of Captain Jack Sparrow being in Davy Jones' locker when they're on the ship in like the 3rd or 4th one, and they have to turn the ship upside down to go into the upside down where they can find Davy Jones, or where they can find, either that's where they find Davy Jones or Captain Jack Sparrow, whatever, but they have to flip the ship upside down. So it's either that one, or it's like Stranger Things where they go into the, what do they call it, the upside down, or they go through that hole and it's like they're in the opposite realm or opposite world. We're in that right now. So if you think and you look around you, everything's ass backwards, that's why, because that's Mercury retrograde. That's what it does. So really, Mercury retrograde is a time of reflection and sitting still, taking the pause, talking with yourself, seeing how far you've come, like redirecting yourself, restructuring, coming up with a plan, reassessing yourself, your life, the situations you're in, the people around you, the jobs, the places, everything. It wants you to take stock for like the past 3 or 4 months. And with that, see where things can change or where you can reacclimate, readjust, so when it's over with, it will then catapult you into what you have decided that you want, the direction or redirection or that restructuring, that planning that you did during a Mercury retrograde. As soon as it's over, it catapults your ass into everything you decided you wanted to change and redirect and work toward. So we still have another week and a half left of Mercury retrograde. So you might right now be focused more on healing yourself, or something has taken a toll on you, whether it's just life, shit happens, okay? And it's either it's caused you to get sick, your body's going to be your number one thing that's going to tell you what's wrong with it. So listen to your body. But regardless, if you got hurt or you've had an injury or you've been sick, there's healing coming in for you. There is change in the air, but it's almost challenging. It's like the Ace of Swords. It's like the truth comes out, but even though it's a brilliant idea and it's the truth, they say the truth will piss you off, but then it will set you free. Kind of like that. So those things can be hard and challenging in the beginning, but once you get ready for it and you're acclimated and you're like, all right, I can do this, then it's momentum and you can take off and move forward. So there is a challenge in that, and maybe it's just that you're not ready for something just yet, but the winds of change are coming for sure. So in the basis, we have blessing of forgiveness. Now there's a new moon here up in the top right corner, and that's my right corner, so whatever it is for you. There's a new moon in September, which is supposed to be pretty potent, and I think it's like around the beginning of September. So if you got into an argument, or let's say if there's an argument, or you had this sickness or this healing, this injury or whatever, if someone was involved in that, there's going to be forgiveness, whether it comes from you or from them. And it doesn't have to be spoken. You can forgive and speak that within yourself and claim it and anoint that over yourself. And you don't need to tell or need to receive an apology from someone else to receive or give forgiveness. And you don't have to apologize to them either to give them forgiveness. This also reminds me of the Hawaiian I have to really think about this one. Ho'oponopono. Yeah, Ho'oponopono. Okay? I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. So you could start, incorporating that into your daily mantra or mantra every day, with people. But regardless, some type of situation that's come forth here, there is forgiveness involved. Now, I would say, because this reminds me of myself, so this is in the past. I would say that's 2 or 3 weeks ago. 2 or 3 weeks ago, before, and there's a new moon in that too. So it could have been during the last new moon that we had, which would have been about 15 to 20 days ago, I think. We would have had this new moon. There could have been something that happened in that time period that kind of set you back, or that happened that created a fuss or a hot mess, right? So now, and that's also too, that was probably around the beginning of Mercury retrograde. I noticed for me that before Mercury retrograde even started, there was I felt blockages and blocks in my way. It's almost like I couldn't move, couldn't do nothing. And then it's like as soon as Mercury retrograde hit, it's like those blocks moved. And then all of a sudden, a momentum came about and stuff started coming forward and things started happening. Pieces started to fall into place. And it was like boom, boom, bam. And usually I feel like that's weird. But, we're in the upside down. So everything's like ass backwards. But I guess that's what it takes with these planets being in retrograde and Mercury retrograde to come in and create that momentum or those breakthroughs. So you had somewhat of a fresh start here recently in the past, and whatever this fresh start is it's healing you now. Like the winds of change have come through. And pay attention to where you live as well, because where you live, if you've noticed, she's got the spiral, yeah. So there's a lot of spirals, okay, and the spiral to me is, and then there's like the trifecta in these cards, and the spiral to me is like grouse medicine in Native American, which is, so hold on, the spiral that goes like that, okay, it's like the grouse will start here, but will take higher ground to gain a bigger perspective, and then once it's locked in on its location, then it goes down and hits its point or hits its mark. So you may have gained a higher perspective now, and now you're able to see where it is that you want to go or what you're doing. And whatever it is, though, it's bringing about healing from whatever setback you had, and also forgiveness, whether that's forgiveness within yourself, because I know at times when things don't go my way, I get frustrated. So at the situation, at myself, whatever, and then it's like, then once it reaches momentum and it moves, then I have to practice forgiveness for myself. And of course, if there are, innocent bystanders, I have to practice forgiveness for them as well. So presently speaking, we have a blessing on the senses that gift the world to you. So, I mean, there's a lot of blessings coming through right now. She has that symbol again on her arm, which is kind of like, is better in this one. But this, I can't remember. I saw that the other day and I couldn't remember what the meaning of it is. So anyways, she's got it on her arm. There's honey, there's bees, there's a new moon on her forehead. So there's something very significant about either the past new moon or a new moon that's coming. This is also a card of number 7. So being on the right path, you are right where you need to be right now, whatever it is that you're doing, okay? If you've been hard on yourself, you need to forgive yourself and tell yourself you're sorry. You need to take it easy on yourself a little bit. There's always a pause when you need to recuperate, heal, especially from an illness or an injury, or even being sick. Because I'll tell you, like during Mercury retrograde, if Mercury retrograde seriously asks you to take a chill pill, sit down on the couch, sit with yourself, take a review over your life, and assess where you are right now, how you got there, and think about, okay, I've come this far. Now, with all this knowledge and wisdom and this shit I've been through, where do I want to go? What do I want to do next? How am I going to get there? Can I re-strategize or restructure or replan this so that I can obtain that goal? If you don't do that, then Mercury retrograde will cause something, whether it's an illness. I remember one time I tried telling my mama about it. Sometimes people are, they refuse to accept, people like me that talk about stuff like this. They're in denial, or it's not that they're in denial, they're just not awake. They're not awake to stuff like that, and they don't really believe in it. But, I tried to tell my mama one time, this is probably about 9-10 years ago, and tried to tell her, slow it down, you're doing too much, it ain't the time to be doing, and, she's like, oh, whatever, I don't believe in that. Well, her ass tripped down these stairs over here behind me, and, like, folded 2 of her toes back. And so the next morning, And I was in the bed. I had laid down to go to sleep. I thought I heard something, but I wasn't sure, so I didn't say nothing. And she didn't say anything, so she tripped and fell in the dark quietly. And she said she got up and she went to her bed. She checked on her toes. She noticed that they were fucked up. She did what she could to get in the bed quietly and not wake anyone up. And she went to bed. And then the next day, I heard her hopping and limping around. So when I woke up, I was like, "What in the damn Sam Hill happened to you?" And of course, she told me, and she was in a laughing fit, telling me. And I think it was Thanksgiving, and she was like, "You're gonna have to help me because I can't get around to cook." And I'm like, "I'll help you. Don't worry, we got it." But I said, "This is the exact reason why I was telling your ass to slow down. You're doing too much. It's Mercury retrograde." And she's like, that made a believer out of her then. Okay? So sometimes if you don't sit down and do what Mercury asks you to do, it will cause you to either, like my mom, fuck your toes up where you can't walk and slow you down, or it will make you sick. It will cause something to happen. It will force your ass. It will even cause you to burn out, like where you're tired as hell. And it will force your ass to sit down on the couch and take a break for a minute and sit with yourself and your thoughts and take a review. So if you've been doing that, or that has happened to you, then I would say you have actually passed the test of doing that, and you have done what Mercury retrograde has asked you to do. Because now that you've done that, it's almost like you have elevated in some way. You've ascended. So yeah, like you've received the information some way, something, and it's now opening you up and bringing in everything that you need. And your senses have also changed. So because of whatever this is, it's opened you up spiritually and your senses. And you're gonna, and I noticed this yesterday and today especially, but I dang sure noticed this yesterday. It's weird. I don't know how to put words onto it yet because it just happened. Usually when things happen to me, it takes me a few days to get acclimated to it. And then I can then I can start associating words and descriptions toward it. But I noticed yesterday I had a different sense. I don't know what it's called, but it was like I could sense things differently. And then I started walking into fucking spider webs, and I thought, are my spidey senses? Because I do have spidey senses. Okay, I do have that gift. And I thought, is the universe trying to make a spider? Oh my God. And you know what? A few weeks ago, a spider did bite me. On my arm over here, a spider did bite me. I had to go through the woods to get my chickens, and a spider bit me on my arm. And I said to myself, okay, I guess I'm going to be like, what's his face? And I got this spider bite now, so my senses are going to change. And sure enough, I noticed a change in my senses yesterday. So, it's like Shang Tsung, Mortal Kombat, boy. It has begun. So, I don't know what's happened to you. Feel free to let me know in the comments. But definitely something's happened. Because now how you are, this ascension or whatever it is that you have gone through, it's now opening you up to seeing things differently. And that can be a blessing and a curse. So keep that in mind. Now in the future, there's another crescent moon at the top, and it also has a star above it. There are 3 crows. I love crows. I'm going to tell you, I love crows. A blessing to shield and safeguard you. So, and she's got her sword. So I will say this. She also has her sword. Let me see if I can find this picture. Okay, 3 crows for a wedding. Let me put that back. Well, actually, there's 4 crows in this reading. What's 4 crows? For a birth. Well, okay. That could be a rebirth within yourself. That could be a rebirth within yourself. So, you remember earlier when I said in that Kipper deck that there was adjudication and having to speak to someone about something, going before like a judge or a mediator. There is going to be in the future, I think that's what that's pertaining to, is you having to go before someone and speak on your behalf for yourself. You could have gotten injured at work, and now you're having to go before, the corporation or whatever to get your, what do you call it, whatever that compensation pay is. You could have gotten fired from a job, and now you're having to go before, the CEO or your boss or someone to sit down and talk about, why and what happened and whatever. But whatever it is, it's somewhat of a blessing in disguise, whatever this is, because that healing being at the center means that whatever's happened to you, there's healing from it. You're now going to be healed from it. Like it meant to happen. And sometimes those things happen to create either a catapult within your ascension or your elevation, or what I was just getting ready to say something else. You remember when I said Mercury retrograde, when it ends, you get catapulted into your desires? So whatever this was, it could have created an injury or a fall or what, something. It created something that set you back for a purpose. And it could have been to remove this out and get this out of the way so that Mercury retrograde's over. This is out of the way because it's unnecessary. And it was there for a purpose. It served its purpose. Now the purpose is done, said, done, and over with. So now it needs to be put out of the way because it was holding you back or blocking you from obtaining and going after your goals. So now that this is clear, now when Mercury retrograde's over, you can actually go forward to what it is that you want, and this is out of the way. It's not stopping you or holding you back anymore. There's no more blocks or crossroads or forks in the road. There's no more second guessing. So before, if you were like kind of up in the air about this situation, well, it seems like something happened to remove you out of the situation. So now it's like there's no fork, there's no nothing. Now there's just a straight line to go. But whatever it is that you're doing in the future to go and get there, you are safeguarded and protected and shielded as you move forward. So you at this moment, we have blessing for a mother. So whatever you've been doing for your kids, you're being blessed for that. Your children, I'm sure you've probably noticed that things are, and let me know in the comments, if things have been working, if there's been a change and things have been working out really good for your kids because you've been trying to, get them ready to go back to school, get them in certain programs, get their clothes, get their things bought, get their, like for me, I just got mine moved to college. So, I was blessed with the loan to come through, and I didn't even ask for it, because I had a loan that I took out last year sometime, but because I have been making my payments on time every month, they popped up and said, if you're interested, because you've been making such, your payment history with us is incredible, that we'll give you, more money here, and if you want it, because I went in to make my payment, and it offered me more money, and on top of that, so I got more money, and I didn't even have to make the payment that month. So it was like I saved my payment money, plus I also had the extra money so I was able to do more for my kid to get him set up and get him ready for school. And so you could have had something very similar to that, or something like that could come through for you. But whatever it is that you're doing as a mom, you're being blessed for it. So be open to that and give thanks and gratitude for that right there for sure. And then look at this. A blessing on the children, and it's the number 11. Okay, so 11 and 12. So your children are being blessed at this time, okay? And the mom of the kid, the mom is being blessed as well. So mama, you're being blessed and your kids are being blessed. And then check this out. Because of what you've been doing for your kids, especially if you are one of those that, because I'm telling you, one of those virtues that I speak about with Jesus is putting others before yourself. That's the ultimate, sacrifice. That's the ultimate virtue. You know how, there are people that will sacrifice themselves and their lives for someone else. Let's say, for example, and this is an example. There's a person trying to shoot someone, but then somebody else jumps in front of that person and takes the bullet and they die. That person that took that bullet, that took that sacrifice and gave themselves for the sake of the other, regardless if that person knew them or didn't know them, that person got a straight ticket to heaven just because they sacrificed themselves for the life of another. I mean, that's how virtue works, and that's the type of teaching that Jesus tried to teach us, is loving one another as he has loved us, being humble, taking care of your neighbor, looking after those. So those sacrifices, they're seen and they're notated. Now, whatever you've been doing with your kids and stuff, I'm telling you, you've been doing really good with that, and I commend you, because that's going to take you places. I just told myself something the other day. Big bold leap. Big bold leap for me and my kid. Big bold leap. I mean, me and him both are taking big bold leaps. So anyways, because of that, it's almost like that too helps in elevating you and raising your confidence level, and also putting you in a position where you can see people's bullshit, and you can see where you're no longer going to take or handle people's bullshit anymore. And it's like, I'm not dealing with this. And that's why these swords are here. There's a sword in that one card, and then she's got her sword. So, this is in the hopes and fears sector. So this is you may have hopes and fears that you're able to either stand up for yourself and protect yourself. Like if somebody tries to come at you, especially if you're having to go before a board or HR or something, whatever this thing is that caused you this injury, or at the beginning of the read that we started out, you may have hopes or fears whether you can stand up for yourself, or whether you may feel like, but what if I wasn't in the right and I was in the wrong? What are they going to say, or what are they going to do? You may feel like, you're under attack by these forces, but you're safeguarded and you're shielded. And there's also, too, whether you believe it or not, because the swords is all about words, this ascension that you are going through, which I know is occurring right now, okay? It's here. You're ascending for sure. Like with the sword, because that can be words. You may go before these people here in the future, and it's like you start speaking, but it's almost like, and I'm sure you've had experiences like this before, because I know I have, where it's like I'm talking, but I don't really know that I'm talking. Like, I hear the words coming out of my mouth, and I'm over here asking myself, where the heck did all these words come from? I don't talk like this, but they're coming out. And it's like, you may experience a moment like that where you're standing up for yourself. So that's maybe why you could have some fear around being able to establish boundaries or stand up for yourself. You may have fears and anxiety around being able to stand up for yourself, but something's coming through on that for sure. So I wouldn't be surprised if you come up against something and next thing you know, you've already spat some shit out and you're like, I don't know where the heck that came from, but like it was, cut straight to the point and it was the shit. Like, and you surprise yourself, and the people that that were coming at you are like, whoa, okay. So be aware of that as well. And then our outcome, a blessing on your love. And there's that crescent moon again. So there's new moons, like, all through this reading. Another, if I look at the, so looking at the bottom of the deck, we have a blessing on your intuition, a blessing from your ancestors, a blessing for solace and hope, and a blessing on your health. So whatever it is that you have been through, and I would say you have been through something, okay? You are now in a period, or about to be in a period, of receiving healing, solace, hope, your health becoming better. You're receiving blessings from your ancestors. You're going to start seeing things more differently, and you're going to be more on the receiving end of things, okay, if that makes sense. So with that being said, I want to, let me clarify, what is this blessing on this healing or this injury thing? What does this here have to do with? What's this blessing on this healing or injury? Okay, well, it's something that you had, because we have the Three of Wands in the reverse. It's something that you thought at one time that you wanted, or you were planning for it, but it almost looks like there's either a delay or a setback from it, and that can also be Mercury retrograde related. Let's not forget about that, please, because Mercury retrograde does shit like that. So, and it could have been work related. It's whatever you've been putting your heart, like your skill set, whatever you're good at. You have been investing your hard-earned, like, skill set, your time, your attention, your care, your capabilities and abilities to get a job done. You've been working really hard. You've been working with the team. There's something, though, there's something that happened here, though, that, you know, without actually talking to you and saying, hey, you know, you telling me personally what this is, this actual situation is, you know, I can't actually pinpoint it because this is a general reading, okay? So, whatever this is, there is a lack of forward planning and holding on to the past. There's self-doubt, and there are some regrets about maybe something that you did at work. But your wishes around this situation are coming true, and you do have the power to and, you know, and then we've got the Three of Swords. So, I mean, it broke your heart. Like, if you lost your job or got fired, or if you had, like, you fell at work and it took you out and now you got to get workman's comp. There it is, finally, workman's comp. And it's like, you know, I had a friend one time who fell at work, and this was like 20 years ago at Olive Garden, and she couldn't go back to work. Like, she literally messed up her hip and her back, and it was the workplace's fault. Like, they didn't do something right, and they had water all over the floor, and she didn't know it, and, like, she came through and busted her ass and fell, and, like, it messed her up. It took her, she had to go out of work for a while. They ended up giving her a settlement, but, like, it took forever, and they made her feel like shit while they gave her this settlement. So, I mean, literally, that could be somewhat the same situation with you. So, now I'm going to go over here to this blessing to safeguard and shield you. What is this blessing? Because this is where I feel like that adjudication card is going to come up with you having to go through or go before someone and speak. And then we have a fire sign with the King of Wands. So, that is, you know, a leader. That is a fire sign. There's so this is at one time something you wish for. There's a cycle here not complete with this, and there's enlightenment. There's some truth that needs to come forward that may not yet have been revealed, and whatever this truth is, it might, you know, break some hearts. So it does have to do with a fire sign. I will say that. And something that you have invested in. Alright, now let me use this Kipper deck. What is this fire sign here? What is this fire sign? What can you tell me about this fire sign in this situation? Okay. And we've got... Okay, so this is about either a boss man that you came together with. It could even be a workplace love, or this is just someone that was a lover that you've invested in, that you have... I mean, if you didn't have like an injury from work or that type thing, what if your partner had to move or go somewhere else and relocate, and so you got to plug in the pieces. But regardless, there is a masculine energy here that you came together with. You've put a lot of time and investment into whatever this is, if it's a relationship. But now it's like either you two are going to break up or you are going to move forward. And if you are going to move forward, then you have to come up with a plan. And there's some enlightenment that's going to come through with this right here, whatever that may be. So, however you're going to do this with this person, because it can either go, left or right. Either y'all can stay together and make this work, and you're going to have to come up with an agreement how to make it work, or you're both going to decide to go your separate ways. Either way, there's going to be enlightenment that comes, clarity that comes. It's going to let you know which one you want to do. You may feel like this is either your husband or the one that you want to be with. Alright, and our outcome is a blessing on our love with this masculine. So it looks like something's going to... Let's say you're with someone and they broke up with you like about a month ago, or things have been rocky about a month ago, month and a half ago, and you're kind of in the midst right now of recuperating from that and not knowing whether you want to continue on with this relationship or not. This is what that's about. Okay, so our outcome, blessing on... What is this blessing on our love? What is this blessing on our love? What is this blessing? What can you tell me about this blessing on our love? And that definitely wanted to fly out. So it looks like the end of, carrying the load, end of the burdens, like something's coming to an end. We have the Three of Pentacles that flew out. So whatever that is, okay, whatever it is, there's going to be a truth revealed around it. Whatever way you decide you want to go with this is how it's going to go. If you decide that you want to cut ties and you don't want to carry this burden anymore because this relationship has really been burdensome to you and you're tired of it and you want to let it go and walk away, then just know that this person, although it may be heartbreaking and the truth may hurt for both of y'all, this person will work with you to sever those ties and to part ways. Okay? So it will have a blessing on it regardless. So just keep that in mind. Now, if you feel like this person has been undependable or stress or causing problems or has had problems, those problems are definitely coming to an end. Alright, so what else can you tell me about this Ten of Wands and this blessing on your love? What can you tell me about them? We've got imprisonment. So I don't know that your person is going to actually go off to prison, but that card could mean that you feel like you are stuck with that person. And somebody experienced some bad health in the past. If this masculine once helped you, like financially, and helped, look after you and take care of you in some way, shape, or form, and then all of a sudden stopped, that could be the thing that caused all this. But it looks like he's going to be coming back around trying to, but I still don't know if you're going to take the offer or not. So look, if I almost feel like, you know, this is coming. I will say that. It's in the cards. I just saw it. You may decide that you want to part ways and go do your and do something different. You may decide that this guy's not, oh my gosh, and then look, I cut the deck to the death card. So you may decide that this is that this is just no longer for you, or no longer what you want. Okay? You might decide that. So let me do this times of the signs. What can you tell me about this blessing to shield and safeguard you? So if you have to go to mediation, or if you have to sit down with this person to talk things through, know that it will work out good. We have clouds with distractions. So there is peace and harmony that's going to come from this. You are receiving divine messages from above, like feathers and things like that. You are being asked or told to yield right now. Have patience and yield. Look for the angel numbers. Those are going to be the things that give you confirmation when it's time to move forward, or make, or give you, see, because we've got the caution, traffic cone. So it may not be exactly the right time yet to, it might not be the right time yet to end this relationship, because I would, if you're going to end something and do it, I would do it after Mercury retrograde. Because if you're trying to cut ties with someone, keep in mind that you're safe while you do this. Your children are safe while you do this. If you're trying to cut ties from someone and you want them to be cut and stayed cut, then you need to do this breakup after Mercury retrograde. Otherwise, if you do it during Mercury retrograde, it will come back around later. They'll show back up later. And it's because you did it during a Mercury retrograde. What's this blessing on the love here? So just keep in mind, something around this new moon that's coming up in September is something's going to happen. And that might be the time that you have to actually sit down and have this conversation with this person. And look, we've got family reunion here. Tree with ancestry, which is actually a really good card. I will read that card to you, because that one's very significant. So again, we have, the universe is giving you messages. Things are going on around you right now that are trying to distract you, but you have a personal power within you that, I mean, you have a crown. You're a queen, and you need to act as such, okay? I saw a thing the other day that I posted to my page. It's not that you are high maintenance. It's that they are low effort. So remember that. Don't settle. Because I'm telling you, the car ride from when I took my child to school to come home was 8 hours. All I kept hearing was settling. And so that's one thing that's been on my mind is like, I can't settle. Because if I settle, I'm doing a disservice not only to myself, and then to my children, my child, and to my family, and to my everything that goes on in my world, in my life. I'm doing a disservice to it by settling. I'm also doing a disservice to the person I'm with by settling. So you want to make sure that you don't settle, because that you're doing a disservice for yourself for sure. Okay? So remember that. If someone tells you that you are too high maintenance or you're too demanding, no, you're not. It's because they're too lazy and they have low effort, and they're not willing to put in the amount. They're not willing to put in the work like what you're willing to do. They're not willing to match you on your level, and that's okay. That's all right. Ain't nothing wrong with that. It's just, maybe it's just that you're not meant to be together. So just know that this person and you are mirrors to one another. So I'm sure there's some triggering that can happen between the two of you, but you will be reflecting on this situation with this person. Now, I'm going to tell you that because for some of you, this is going to work out and you're going to stay with this person. For some of you, you're not. So it's going to be a half and half. A tree is as strong as its roots, which tend to extend deeper into the earth with each generation. You carry the name and the bloodline of those who came before you, as well as their strengths and struggles, triumphs and traumas. Honor these ancestors. Bottom of the deck, a blessing from your ancestors. By living your purpose and learning more about where you come from. The tree is also a symbol of longevity and desire to build a legacy and generational wealth for your family. If you have received signs to put up an altar or develop a deeper connection with living family members, this is the time to follow through and reinforce those bonds. This card could indicate a family or legacy-related matter that needs your attention, possibly involving property, inheritances, or uncovering a truth from the past. You may be the one who has been assigned the task of breaking generational curses. So, additional meanings is place offerings on your altar, connect with your ancestral practices, spend time learning from your family. Family may be growing. Find strength and comfort in where you come from. So, you got to keep in mind and understand that whoever you are shacking up with is coming into your home, which, you know, for me, it's like, you know, this is the house I grew up in. It's my grandparents' home. So whoever I'm with, you know, they're coming up into my family. I got to make sure it's the right person that's coming up in my family. You know, I can't just bring any old Joe into my home, because you have to keep in mind that people have, especially if you're one like me, but all of us actually, we carry, like, I think I read somewhere the other day, we carry like 20 years of ancestral trauma, issues with money. So you got to look back at like your family lineage, how far, like maybe in the past like 6 or 7 generations, the past 6 or 7 grandparents, great grandparents. It's got to be the parents that you want to look at. The grandmas and the grandpas, the great-grandpas, the great-grandmas, and then the great-great-grandmas, and then the great-great-great-grandpas. What did they go through in their life? And especially in the time, the era. Because if they went through, like, for example, like the Vietnam War, then they have issues with safety and security. You could be carrying that. If they went through like the Great Depression and they were worried about how they were going to eat and how they were going to put food on the table, you could be carrying that ancestral trauma. So you got to think what your family went through is what is coming forward right now, because those are ancestral curses that you need to break. And you want to make sure that whoever you are taking on as a partner is in line with that, in alignment with that. They're going to help you break these ancestral curses or these generational blockages, okay? That they're not going to add to it or block you from doing that, because that's your mission, is to block and to break these curses. So just keep that in mind as you maneuver throughout this month with this situation. Alright, so that's all I have for you. I mean, this reading really got deep, okay? I don't know that I've ever been this deep in a reading before, but it was a good one. Please feel free to leave your feedback, comments, what you got from it, what you liked about it, what you didn't like, and I'll see you all again here for the next one. Take care. Namaste.